Tonight, angst in the community calls for more safety precautions around the Waroona Island rail crossing. And keeping counselling services in the bush. Thousands of dollars raised ahead of this weekend's Ride for Quinny event around Broken Hill.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. 2 unnecessary road deaths at the same intersection 10 years apart. That's the reality of the Waroona Island railway crossing, and now locals and council are putting their foot down, calling for more safety precautions to be put in place.
2 deaths, too many. Mount Remarkable Council received a motion at the October Ordinary meeting to explore future safety options leading up to the notorious crossing. It was here at Causeway Road less than 2 weeks ago. An interstate motorcyclist was killed after he and his bike collided with a freight train. His death the second to occur at the same spot.
We understand that there's a bit of angst amongst the Waroona Island community from a safety perspective, and rightfully so. And I guess that some of that angst comes from a previous incident that did occur a couple of years ago, but the same thing unfortunately occurred.
The question on everyone's mind is what was done after the first fatality, as there was a review by the Australian Rail Track Corporation,
which at that time did identify that there could be safety upgrades to the cost of about $1 million back then, but ARTC or the federal government weren't prepared to make that investment.
Instead, council were invited to make that investment, which is a lot of money, especially given that railway crossings are a federal government responsibility. Nonetheless, another incident has occurred, and council is seeking another review.
But we've also asked for a copy of that review so we can actually understand what rationale they come to. They may conclude the same result or a similar result to the last review or something completely different.
In the meantime, council will continue to undertake regular inspections of all their railway crossings, and as always encourages drivers to drive to the conditions and stay alert. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A man has been arrested after a suspicious fire was lit in Port Lincoln last night. Around 8:30, emergency services arrived at a unit on York Street after reports of flames coming from the carport and the front door. Fire crews quickly extinguished the blaze and, fortunately, the occupants of the home were not inside at the time. Police believe it was deliberately lit, but inquiries are ongoing. As a result, Port Lincoln detectives arrested a 19-year-old local man and charged him with alleged arson. He was refused bail and faced court today. Anyone with further information about the fire is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Attracting and maintaining regional GPs is an ongoing challenge for the townships across the Spencer Gulf. Now, a petition has been launched in Narungga for people to have their say in an attempt to get more state funding put back into the regional health networks.
It's no secret clinics across rural South Australia have struggled retaining general practitioners. Now the member for Narungga, Fraser Ellis, has launched a petition to fix local health systems in the region.
We're sick of passing on our concerns to those that make the decisions and forcibly lobbying for change and having very little result to show for it. So we've launched this petition which asks for a number of improvements to our local health system.
On the top of Mr Ellis's list is to recruit more regional doctors to properly staff country hospitals. However, he believes state government is too city-focused.
These are the problems that government are meant to solve, the issues that affect rural South Australians, and I think we expect them to do more than they have done, and I think if we can go some way toward remedying that and ensuring a better distribution of doctors across the state, that'll put a lot of minds at ease.
Wait times to get in and see a local GP are worsening. Mr Ellis says it has been 2 years and none of the salaried doctor positions at the Wallaroo Hospital have been filled.
It's a significant wait time for them to get in to see a general practitioner, and that's not to criticise any of those GP businesses. They're doing the best with the resources they have available to them, but the difficulty in attracting more doctors to help staff those clinics.
The petition also looks at reclassifying the Wallaroo Hospital to best reflect its status. along with reclassifying Port Pirie into the Flinders and Upper North Local Health Network.
We need 10,000 signatures, which is a fair old ask, but we're getting it out before summer. So hopefully there's plenty of people down the peninsula over the break and they can all lend their support. You just need to be a South Australian resident to sign it.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Indigenous leaders and community workers have gathered in Port Augusta to discuss trauma experienced throughout the generations, both past and present. The elders say they've heard a range of ideas to combat the city's antisocial behaviour, but slam harsh proposals.
An important gathering in Port Augusta West as the painful topic of Indigenous trauma was discussed among elders, business owners and community groups.
Abuse or neglect, it can be experiences of domestic and family violence, it can be a whole range of other experiences that we might have that might occur through natural disasters or a whole range of events, but often it happens within our families and within groups of people that we care about.
Port Augusta's antisocial behaviour problem dominated discussions. Extreme ideas and solutions dismissed.
Some of them are not legal. One in particular was the one about 3 strikes and you're out. You know, you can't do that to Australian citizens. They're allowed to be here in Port Augusta.
Laurie Webster says the out-of-towners who are predominantly responsible for the antisocial problems haven't been properly approached.
We don't know the main reason for them to come down here, and I don't think anyone has actually tried to find out the reason. It might be because of the services that they're seeking don't exist on the land.
Changing the narrative was also a major topic.
So often we look at things like addiction, so drug and alcohol addiction, and we see that as the problem when it's actually the trauma that people have experienced previously that leads to the drug and alcohol addiction. So it's about looking behind what we're seeing.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Ride for Quinny fundraiser is happening in Broken Hill this weekend. The 100-kilometre journey will kick off before sunrise on Saturday, raising money for suicide prevention.
Bright and early Saturday morning, riders will get on their bikes and take to the roads to shine a light on mental health in the Silver City.
So I had the tragic loss of my brother-in-law back in 2020, and I felt like I wanted to sort of give back and do something for mental health.
Originally, Mr. Mann was just going to ride to Menindee by himself. But once he told some of his late brother-in-law's friends the idea, they soon jumped on board.
It sort of snowballed from there, and then we had the hugely successful event last year where we had about 30 or 40 riders all get involved.
While the riders are out racking up the Ks, there will be a family picnic day at Sturt Park at the finish line, with a toy library, jumping castle and other stalls.
We're going to have the CWA, they'll be doing scones and biscuits. The Legacy will be doing sausage sizzles. There will be a Broken Hill Fresh Pizzas, we'll be doing their pizzas here.
The riders are expected to arrive back in the city at midday, with the picnic getting underway at 11 a.m.
The finishing line's going to be just behind me at the moment, and so we are hoping that they'll get in at about 12, but you're free to come in at around 11 o'clock.
If you need help, Lifeline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by calling 13 11 14. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
What a great initiative. Still to come tonight, narrowing down the finalists for the best business in the Far West. And too realistic for comfort. UniSA's mod exhibition comes to Whyalla. Welcome back. Finalists have been announced in this year's Regional Development Far West Excellence in Business Awards. This year's event is said to be one of the biggest since the award's inception, with organisers happy with the sheer amount of nominations.
The countdown is on until Broken Hill's Business Night of Nights. It's sure to be quite the event, with an extensive range of businesses being nominated.
I guess, pleasantly surprised by how many nominations we got this year. And just looking at as they came back from the judging panel, it was wonderful to see such a broad variety of the businesses across our region that had been nominated as finalists.
An independent judging panel from Tamworth count the nominations, with Regional Development Far West only responsible for the people's choice, ensuring nothing sways the judges and making the process as fair as can be.
So the judging panel was telling me the quality of awards this year is absolutely fantastic in comparison to previous years. So our businesses are really growing in their nomination for the awards.
The last time the awards took place was in 2019.
It really is starting to build that excitement across the office. I'm sure we'll be very happy on the Sunday after the awards have been done as well. But it's a fantastic event that we're really, really looking forward to.
Guest speaker on the night will be Anthony Harries Carroll from Bondi Rescue.
And I'm looking forward to meeting Harries and really, I guess, understanding more around his story. So traditionally, we've got a lot of sports people. We've had a magician come out for the Business Awards. So this is the first time we've really got a TV personality.
Tickets for the event need to be booked by this Friday. Joshua Mercer, 7, Spencer Gulf News.
This week, Whyalla students have come face to face with futuristic talking robots. The University of South Australia bringing displays from its award-winning mod gallery to the Still City to encourage locals to take up a tertiary study.
Giving students a glimpse into the future. The University of South Australia's Museum of Discovery has travelled to Whyalla to host a series of workshops for local schools.
We are a futuristic museum of discovery, really designed for young adults to inspire them about how to navigate their future.
The Adelaide-based museum packing up some of its most interesting displays and bringing them on a tour of the university's regional campuses. One display, a talking animatronic head called Josh.
It's an interactive robot head and it can talk to you, and it's a really good prop for helping people think about new technologies like artificial intelligence and robotics and how humans are going to be interacting with robots in the future.
So we're in the process of collecting smaller displays that we can more easily tour to regional areas, whether they pop up in libraries or here on campus, to give a bit of a taster.
The interactive displays are being used in the sessions to get students thinking about how they could solve futuristic problems.
We're here with Year 10 students from Samaritan College with our Point of Impact workshop. So what we're really interested in doing is helping students think about risks.
But we're also thinking about digital disruption, healthcare, the environment, biodiversity, climate change, things that are going to affect the environments in which our young people are going to grow up into.
With plenty of hands-on activities, it's hoped that the workshops will inspire students to pursue STEM and healthcare pathways in the future. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Business Port Pirie to host a free program spruiking the city. And fun and games planned for the little ones ahead of tomorrow's Kids Week event in Whyalla. Welcome back. There are a number of exciting projects and tourism developments happening in Port Pirie. And Business Port Pirie and the local Buying Foundation feel it's time to showcase just what the region has to offer.
There are projects and opportunities right on our doorstep. And what better way to explore them than through a bus trip?
And it's all about giving visitors a really great experience in our town. So hopefully that they tell their friends and family, but also so that they hopefully stay a bit longer and also spend more money while they're here.
The first day will include visiting local businesses and attractions in Port Pirie and surrounding townships, learning firsthand what the region has to offer. Information will also be provided about the foreshore updates and the Southern Flinders project.
There's some really exciting things happening, so we'll see more people not only coming into town but passing through as well, so we really want to capitalise on that. Part of the bus tour that we're doing in the Town Ambassador program, we'll be visiting some local businesses, so some of our hospitality venues.
On day 2, TAFE will provide training on customer service skills, improving local product knowledge and how to increase visitation numbers and satisfaction levels.
They'll get a certificate on completion, but it's open to anybody, so people who are working, business owners, volunteers, or just people in the community that might want to get involved.
To apply, visit Local Jobs Program Mid-North SA's Facebook page. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Whyalla Early Childhood Services Network Group is encouraging the community to come along to the Children's Week event tomorrow. With animals, a balloon artist and face painting, organisers say there's plenty to keep the kids entertained.
Excitement is already in the air for tomorrow's Children's Week event in Whyalla.
I'm looking forward to animals!
Like previous years, the event will take place in the Whyalla Public Library, but organisers say this year it will be bigger and better than ever before.
Children's Week is a national celebration that recognises the talents, skills, achievements and rights of children.
Got lots of services and agencies that will be coming along and providing information for families and free activities for children.
Tomorrow's event will kick off with a public storytime reading session at 10 a.m. and then from 10:30 till midday, the library will be transformed into a fun fair of different games, animals and things to see.
Yeah, so we'll have activities set up inside and outside. We'll have a yellow brick road for the children to follow around, make sure they visit every stall that's here.
We've got some face painting that the childcare is coming over to do for the families, so if they want to come down and get their face painted. Myself and another educator from childcare will be here to do some face painting.
Various local services will also be in attendance to provide parents with valuable information and tips to make parenting life that little bit easier. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Petrol price pain at Spencer Gulf Bowsers. And more rain on the way. We'll have the weather with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. Drivers are still feeling the pinch at the petrol pump, especially those who need diesel to get around. Here's Daniel Pizarro with this week's Fuel Watch from Port Augusta.
Your wallet may be a little emptier this week as petrol prices continue to rise, but there is variety in prices. First, checking unleaded petrol, and it's a mixed bag all around. Port Lincoln has increased to $1.85. Adelaide recorded a major jump to $2.15, but the price has dropped in Port Augusta and Broken Hill. In the Silver City, unleaded is going for $1.91 per litre. Meanwhile, things are not great for diesel. Big hikes in Whyalla, with prices going for $2.36 a litre, with Broken Hill and Port Lincoln the most expensive at just under $2.40 per litre. But diesel is cheaper in Adelaide, dropping below $2.30 today. Finally, gas prices are seeing a wide variety in prices depending on where you are. Adelaide scored the cheapest, down almost 2 cents to under 96 cents a litre. Port Pirie dropped by over 5 cents per litre to just under $1.09. Prices are stable in Port Lincoln, Kadina and Broken Hill, but it's gone up in Whyalla to just under $1.20. Petrol prices are forecast to increase this week, so it may be a good idea to fill up as soon as possible.
Yikes, thanks Daniel. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, a bit of a dreary day today.
There's definitely been drearier days, Maddie, sunnier ones as well. A spattering of rain around Whyalla, Port Lincoln and Cleve and Cummins with cloudy conditions. Taking a look at some of today's temperatures now, 19 degrees in Whyalla, 19 in Kadina as well, 23 in Cooper-Pedy. That was around 2:15 this afternoon. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, 25 in Broken Hill today, 22 the top in Woodna, 21 in Port Pirie and Port Augusta. Port Lincoln reached 19. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a trough and low pressure system near the southeast of South Australia will remain in the vicinity until the end of the week. A ridge of high pressure extends across the west. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. West to southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas between 1 and 2 metres, and south to southwesterly swell around 1 metre. A shower or two in Port Lincoln tomorrow between 11 and 19 degrees there, partly cloudy and 20 in Cleve. Woodna partly cloudy and 22 degrees. 22 the top in Whyalla as well, partly cloudy conditions, between 11 and 23 in Port Augusta. Kadina possible showers and 20 degrees. Port Pirie possible shower and 21 tomorrow. Clare will see a shower Carrotoo, and a top temperature of 16 degrees. Partly cloudy in Broken Hill between 11 and 21. Taking a look further through the week now, starting with Friday's outlook. Blue skies up north in Cooper Pedy, 29 degrees. 24 the next warmest, that will be in Port Augusta. Partly cloudy, 23 in Woodna, 21 in Whyalla, Port Pirie and Broken Hill, 19 in Port Lincoln. Moving on to Saturday's forecast now. Possible storms around Cooper Pedy, 31 degrees. Showers likely around Port Augusta, 24 degrees, with the chance of a thunderstorm there as well, most likely in the afternoon and evening. Same goes for Woodna and west of Sujunya, possible heavy rain. Partly cloudy, top of 23 in Broken Hill. And finally, taking our first look at how Sunday is shaping up. Rainy everywhere except for Cooper Pedy, 31 degrees and windy in the Opal capital. Rain and 29 degrees in Port Augusta. Showers and 27 in Whyalla, Port Pirie and Broken Hill. 25 in Woodna and Kadina. Showers and a top of 20 in Port Lincoln. And just a reminder, Maddie, not to be complacent around floodwaters. Moderate flooding is still occurring around the Darling River and Wilcannia and Menindee, with further rises possible. Stay up to date with the latest from the Weather Bureau online, but for now, it's back to you, Maddie.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.